Kambwili exposes Mundubile, I have all the evidence of his theft, I'll finish him if he dares me. These are not whispers. They are not rumors. Nika Mubwalala. I have all the evidence of Mundubile's theft. If he dares me, I will finish him. That is the explosive warning from Chishimba Kambwili, one that has sent shockwaves through Zambia's political space. But what evidence is he talking about? Why now? And what happens if these claims move from political talk to legal confrontation? Tonight, we break down the statement, the history, and the implications, because this is no longer politics as usual. Good day, viewers. Welcome to another edition of InspirAfrica Official. I'm Nakash. Well, what a week it's been in Zambian politics. Just when you think things couldn't get more explosive, something drops that shakes the entire political establishment to its core. And today we're diving into what might be the most devastating political expose of the year. The lead story, Chishimba Kambwili has just thrown down the gauntlet against Gary Mundubile, and the allegations are nothing short of explosive. Picture this, a former cabinet minister, sitting across from cameras, calmly declaring he possesses irrefutable evidence of theft. Not suspicions. Not rumors. Evidence. Hard, documented proof that he claims will obliterate the reputation of one of the ruling party's most prominent figures. But here's where it gets truly dramatic. What could drive a seasoned politician to make such a public, irreversible declaration? What kind of evidence are we talking about here? Documentation? Recordings? Witness testimony? Bank records? And more importantly, what happens when you publicly challenge someone to dare you in the unforgiving arena of Zambian politics? Is this a calculated political strike, or does Kambwili truly hold cards so powerful that he's willing to bet his entire credibility on them? What happens when allegations of theft aren't whispered in backrooms but shouted from the rooftops with a promise of total political destruction? The gloves are off. The challenge has been issued. And someone's political future hangs in the balance. Factual foundation, background and timeline. The revelation came to light during what can only be described as an incendiary public statement that sent shockwaves through Zambia's political corridors. Chishimba Kambwili, the former Minister of Information and Broadcasting Services and current leader of the opposition NDC party, held nothing back when addressing allegations surrounding Gary Mundubile, the current Deputy Chief Whip of the Patriotic Front and Member of Parliament from Porokoso. The context here is crucial. Kambwili and Mundubile have a history that stretches back years within the Patriotic Front structure. Both men rose through the PF ranks during different administrations, though Kambwili eventually broke away to form his own political movement. The initial spark appears to have been ignited in recent weeks when rumors began circulating about financial irregularities allegedly involving Mundubile during his time in various parliamentary and party positions. While whispers of impropriety in politics are hardly new, what makes this different is Kambwili's willingness to step forward with specific accusations. According to sources close to the situation, tensions escalated when Mundubile allegedly made dismissive comments about Kambwili's credibility, essentially daring him to produce proof of any wrongdoing. That's when Kambwili decided to go nuclear. In his statement, made publicly and deliberately, Kambwili didn't just hint at misconduct. He laid down a direct challenge, claiming to possess comprehensive evidence of theft that he says will finish Mundubile's political career if provoked further. The timeline moved swiftly from private political grievances to a very public showdown, with both men's reputations now on the line in the court of public opinion. Direct evidence, quotes and testimony. Now, let's hear from Kambwili himself, because his words leave absolutely no room for ambiguity. Speaking directly to cameras and supporters, Kambwili stated, "I have all the evidence of his theft. Everything. Documents, records, testimonies, everything is there. And let me tell you something, if Mundubile dares me, if he thinks I'm bluffing, I will finish him. Politically, I will finish him." He continued, his tone becoming more pointed. You see, some of these people think that because they're in positions of power, they can do whatever they want. They think nobody is watching. They think nobody is keeping records. But I have been watching. I have been keeping records. And now the chickens are coming home to roost. When pressed by journalists about the specific nature of these allegations, Kambwili elaborated. We're talking about misappropriation of funds that were meant for constituency development. We're talking about, contracts that were awarded to companies that don't even exist. Phantom companies. And guess who benefited? You think people are fools? A reporter asked, Mr. Kambwili, are you prepared to present this evidence to law enforcement? Kambwili responded without hesitation. I'm prepared to present it anywhere. To the police, to the ACC, to the public. Anywhere. But you know what? I'm waiting for him to dare me. Let him call me a liar. Let him say I'm fabricating things. The moment he does that, I'm releasing everything. Everything. Another journalist pressed further, but why not just release it now? Why the conditional approach? Because, you see, I'm giving him a chance. A chance to come clean. A chance to resign quietly and spare himself the humiliation. But if he wants to play games, if he wants to challenge me publicly, then we'll play. And trust me, it's a game he will lose. The frankness and the fury in Kambwili's words painted a picture of a man who believes he holds trump cards in what has become a very personal political vendetta. Deeper analysis, implications and reactions. So what are we really looking at here? Beyond the theater and the rhetoric, what are the implications of these explosive claims? First, let's consider the legal dimension. If Kambwili does indeed possess evidence of theft or financial impropriety involving a sitting member of parliament, this could trigger formal investigations by anti-corruption bodies. The Anti-Corruption Commission in Zambia has jurisdiction over such matters, and public allegations of this magnitude often force their hand, regardless of political considerations. But here's where it gets complicated. In Zambian politics, accusations without follow-through can be politically fatal to the accuser. Kambwili is essentially wagering his own credibility on these claims. If he fails to produce substantive evidence, his political opponents will use this as ammunition to dismiss him as unreliable and opportunistic. Reactions from the political establishment have been swift and divided. Sources within the Patriotic Front have dismissed Kambwili's claims as desperate attention-seeking from a politician whose relevance is fading. One senior PF official, speaking on condition of anonymity, stated, Kambwili has a pattern of making wild accusations without evidence. This is just more of the same. However, opposition figures have rallied around the allegations. The UPND, in particular, has called for transparency and urged Mundubile to address the accusations directly rather than through party spokespersons. Civil society organizations have also weighed in. One governance watchdog issued a statement calling for both parties to present their cases through proper legal channels rather than conducting trial by media. The ethical questions here are profound. Even if Kambwili possesses legitimate evidence, is the public ultimatum approach the right way to pursue justice? Or does it reduce serious allegations of corruption to political theater? And what about Mundubile's side? So far, his response has been relatively measured, dismissing the allegations as baseless without engaging in the kind of public confrontation Kambwili seems to be inviting. But his silence on specifics has left many wondering, is this strategic patience, or does the lack of a forceful denial suggest there might be something to the claims? There's also the question of motive. Why now? Why this particular moment? Some analysts suggest this could be part of a broader opposition strategy to weaken the PF ahead of future electoral contests. Others believe it might be personal grievances finally boiling over into the public sphere. What remains clear is that this confrontation speaks to larger systemic issues in Zambian politics. The persistent allegations of corruption, the culture of impunity among political elites, and the public's growing frustration with leaders who seem more interested in settling scores than serving constituents. So there you have it, viewers. A political bombshell that could either expose genuine corruption or explode in the face of the accuser. The ball is now in Mundubile's court. Will he take the bait and challenge Kambwili directly? Will Kambwili make good on his promise and release this supposed evidence? Or will this entire confrontation fizzle out like so many political storms before it? One thing is certain. All eyes are now on both men, and the Zambian public is waiting to see who blinks first. Thank you so much for watching this edition of InspirAfrica Official. This is exactly the kind of story that demands your attention and your voice. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe Kambwili has the evidence he claims? Should he release it immediately, or is his conditional approach justified? And what should happen if these allegations prove true? Let's get a conversation going because this story is far from over. I'll be back tomorrow with more news, more analysis, and more stories that matter to you and to Africa. Until then, stay informed, stay engaged, and stay inspired. This is Nakash, signing off.